Right now, I want you to do something. Sit in a chair with your arms crossed over your chest. Now stand up as quickly as you safely can without using your hands. Time yourself. How long did it take? If it took you more than 12 seconds, your risk of dying in the next 5 years just increased significantly. This isn't fear-mongering. This is science. A landmark study published in the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology followed over 2,000 adults aged 51 to 80 for 6 years. They found that people who couldn't complete the sit-to-stand test in under 12 seconds had a 300% higher risk of death from any cause compared to those who could. Not 30%, 300%. This simple movement test predicts mortality better than cholesterol levels, blood pressure, or BMI because it measures something most medical tests ignore: muscle power, not strength. Power, the ability to generate force quickly. And after 60, loss of power is one of the strongest predictors of falls, frailty, and early death. Today, I'm going to show you exactly why this test matters and how to improve your score starting today. Before we begin, drop your name and where you're watching from in the comments. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why the sit-to-stand test is one of the most powerful predictors of longevity and functional independence, and you'll learn the specific training protocol that improves your score, reduces fall risk, and extends your health span. This isn't just a test. It's a roadmap for what your body needs most after 60. Before we begin, this video discusses physical testing and exercise protocols, not medical advice. Always consult your doctor before starting any new exercise program, especially if you have knee problems, hip issues, balance concerns, or cardiovascular conditions. Let me explain exactly what the sit-to-stand test reveals and why it's so predictive of how long you'll live. What the test actually measures: muscle power versus strength. Most people think strength and power are the same thing. They're not. Strength is how much force you can generate, like how heavy a weight you can lift. Power is how quickly you can generate that force. It's force multiplied by speed. After 60, muscle power declines 3 times faster than muscle strength. A study from the University of Pittsburgh found that adults lose approximately 3% of muscle power per year after age 60, compared to only 1% of strength. This means you can still be relatively strong, but have severely diminished power. Why does this matter? Because almost everything that keeps you safe and independent requires power, not just strength. Catching yourself from a fall, reacting quickly when you lose balance, standing up from a low surface, climbing stairs. All of these demand the ability to generate force rapidly. The sit-to-stand test measures exactly this: your ability to accelerate your body weight from a seated to standing position. The faster you can do it, the more muscle power you have. The slower you are, the more your power has declined. And here's the critical connection. Muscle power predicts mortality because it reflects the integrated function of your neuromuscular system, cardiovascular capacity, balance, coordination, and overall physiological reserve. When power declines, it signals that multiple systems are failing simultaneously. The scoring system. What your time means. Research has established clear thresholds for the sit-to-stand test in adults over 60. Here's what your time means. Under 11 seconds. Excellent. Your muscle power is well preserved. Your mortality risk is at baseline for your age group. You have strong functional capacity and low fall risk. 11 to 12 seconds. Good. You're in the acceptable range, but there's room for improvement. Your risk is slightly elevated but manageable. 12 to 15 seconds. Concerning. Your muscle power is declining. Mortality risk doubles compared to those under 11 seconds. Fall risk increases significantly. You need targeted intervention. Over 15 seconds. High risk. Mortality risk triples or more. You're at severe risk for falls. loss of independence, and rapid functional decline. Immediate training is essential. Unable to stand without using hands. Critical. You've crossed into functional impairment. This signals advanced muscle power loss and requires medical evaluation and supervised rehabilitation. These aren't arbitrary numbers. They come from longitudinal studies tracking thousands of older adults over years, correlating sit-to-stand times with actual mortality, hospitalization, and functional outcomes. Why muscle power predicts falls and frailty. Falls are the leading cause of injury and death in adults over 65. But most falls don't happen because you're weak. They happen because you're slow. When you trip or lose balance, you have milliseconds to react. Your body needs to generate force instantly to catch yourself, adjust your posture, or brace for impact. If your muscle power is diminished, your reaction time is too slow. You can't generate force quickly enough to prevent the fall. Research from the Journal of Gerontology found that muscle power, not strength, was the strongest predictor of fall risk in community-dwelling older adults. Additionally, when standing up takes more than 12 seconds, it means your legs are struggling to overcome your body weight. This creates compensatory patterns, using momentum, rocking forward, pushing off and off with hands. These compensations signal that your muscles aren't functioning optimally, which increases instability during all movements, not just standing. Frailty is defined as diminished physiological reserve across multiple systems. Slow sit-to-stand time is one of the 5 clinical criteria for frailty diagnosis. Once you're classified as frail, mortality risk skyrockets, recovery from illness becomes exponentially harder, and loss of independence accelerates. The good news, muscle power is trainable at any age. Unlike many aspects of aging, muscle power responds dramatically to targeted training, even in people over 80. A study in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that older adults who performed power training for 12 weeks improved sit-to-stand speed by 35% on average and reduced fall risk by over 50%. The key is training specifically for power, not just strength. Here's the training protocol. How to improve your sit-to-stand time. Phase 1. Build foundational strength with slow sit-to-stands. Before you can move fast, you need adequate strength. Start with controlled, slow sit-to-stands focusing on form and stability. Sit in a sturdy chair with your arms crossed over your chest. Stand up slowly, taking 3 to 4 seconds to rise. Focus on pressing through your heels, keeping your chest up, and engaging your glutes and quads. Pause at the top for 1 second. Sit back down slowly, taking 3 to 4 seconds. Do 10 repetitions. Rest for 1 minute. Repeat for 3 sets. Perform this 3 times per week. This builds the baseline strength needed for power development. Phase 2. Add explosive sit-to-stands for power. Once you can perform 10 slow sit-to-stands with good form, progress to speed work. Sit in the same chair, arms crossed. Now stand up as fast as you safely can, driving through your heels and accelerating your body upward. The goal is speed without losing control or balance. Sit back down slowly and controlled. Do 5 repetitions. Rest for 2 minutes to allow full recovery. Repeat for 3 to 5 sets. Perform this 2 to 3 times per week. Power training requires full recovery between sets because you're training your nervous system to fire rapidly, not just fatiguing muscles. Phase 3. Add resistance for advanced power development. Once explosive sit-to-stands feel manageable, add light resistance. Hold a light weight, 5 to 10 pounds, close to your chest. Perform explosive sit-to-stands as described above. The added load increases the power demand without requiring heavy weights that could compromise form. Do 5 repetitions, rest for 2 minutes, repeat for 3 sets. Perform this 2 times per week. Phase 4. Integrate single-leg variations for balance and unilateral power. Single-leg sit-to-stands dramatically increase difficulty and train the balance component critical for fall prevention. Sit in a chair. Extend one leg forward, keeping it off the ground. Stand up using only the planted leg, using arms for light balance support if needed. This is extremely challenging. Start with partial range or use assistance. Over time, reduce assistance and increase depth. Do 3 to 5 reps per leg, 2 to 3 sets. Perform this 2 times per week. This trains unilateral power and balance simultaneously, directly improving real-world function. Additional exercises that support sit-to-stand power. Box jumps or step-ups with explosive intent. Step onto a low, stable platform as quickly as possible, focusing on generating force rapidly. This trains the same muscle groups and neural pathways as sit-to-stands. Jump squats or squat jumps. For those with good joint health, jumping from a squat position builds explosive power in the legs. Start with small jumps and progress gradually. Split squats with explosive drive. Lunge position, then drive upward explosively, switching legs in the air if possible, or simply driving up forcefully from one leg. These exercises complement sit-to-stand training by developing power across different movement patterns. How quickly can you improve your score? Most people see measurable improvement within 4 to 6 weeks of consistent power training. A reduction of 2 to 3 seconds in your sit-to-stand time is realistic and clinically significant. Some people improve even faster, especially if their initial limitation was more neural, poor motor pattern, than muscular. Within 12 weeks, improvements of 4 to 6 seconds are common, which can move you from high risk to moderate or even low risk categories. This isn't just about numbers. It translates directly to easier daily function, more confidence in movement, and measurably reduced fall risk. Retesting protocol. Track your progress. Test your sit-to-stand time once every 4 weeks. Use the same chair, same conditions, same time of day for consistency. Record your time and track improvement. If your time plateaus or worsens, reassess your training. Are you training power or just strength? Are you recovering adequately between sessions? Are other factors like sleep, nutrition, or illness affecting performance? Why this matters more than almost any other fitness metric after 60. You can have good cardiovascular fitness, but terrible muscle power. You can have decent flexibility, but slow sit-to-stand time. You can even have reasonable strength, but poor power. The sit-to-stand test integrates all of these qualities into one functional measure that directly predicts independence and survival. Doctors are increasingly using this test in clinical settings because it provides information that blood work and imaging cannot. How well your body can actually perform the movements that keep you alive and independent. If your sit-to-stand time is over 12 seconds, this is your most important fitness priority. Not walking more, not stretching more. Training muscle power through explosive movements that directly improve this metric. If you tested yourself at the beginning of this video and your time was over 12 seconds, leave a comment with your time and commit to training. Retest in 4 weeks and update us. And if this video helped you understand why sit-to-stand speed matters, share it with someone who needs to test themselves. Because the strongest thing about you isn't how much you can lift. It's how fast you can move when it matters most.